This is squatchy. Ooh. Yep. We're going gator searching. He's just gonna hold it, apparently. Apparently that's the thing. Is that the Florida thing, just to hold it?
Yeah, you're allowed to open carry well.
It's not the Florida. Yeah, I know you're allowed to open carry, but I mean, that's extremely open, sir. That is very, very open.
All you have to do is go grab it, and it's your turn.
Yeah, all I gotta do is go grab it, Jimmy. You go grab it.
A little bit nervous right now.
Yeah, so here's Mike getting his lesson on how to use the bullwhip.
I don't want to walk.
Or something possibly.
So it's just a flick of the.
Yeah, just the
That's all it is. That's all it is. It's no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
So-
I would advise everybody to back up.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually get yourself with.
I don't see what could possibly go wrong in this scenario. Actually, I take that back. I got $5. He hits himself in the neck.
Yep. Go.
Oh! Yeah!
Come on. We're getting into action mode here at ISOBRE headquarters. We just got sent these pictures of some footprints, possible footprints, from a good friend Jimmie Walker from the Green Swamp in Florida. And he sent me these, and it's actually literally a mile away from where we had an encounter where we saw some eyes. And I'll let him tell you that story right now. But we are en route down to Florida right now.
So we're doing normal camping stuff. You know, we set up, we hang out, we go walk around. I think Mike set up like trail cams and stuff like that. You know, and go back to do.
And this is so we had Bigfooted once prior to this in Torreya, and this was, I think, our second, like.
Well, we had been to JB Starkey before too.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
When I got you with the whole bat prank thing in your tent.
That's right.
And so anyway, so we go, we set up, you know, and Mike wants to do a night hike. And I'm pretty new to the whole thing. I'm like,
what tent is that?
I think hiking in the wilderness at night's a bad idea. You know, panthers and bears and snakes, oh my. You know, I didn't know it's really not that big of a deal at the time. And so he hounds me all night to do this, to where it's midnight, 2 o'clock, something like that, you know, eventually where I'm like, okay, fine, let's go, you know. So we go, and Mike is very, very into the whole thing, and I'm not. So every like 5 feet, every 5 to 10 minutes, Mike stops and is doing like a Bigfoot howl or like doing a tree knock, and I'm sitting there with a spotlight and a big Bear Grylls machete, like, you know, like, what's going on? What are we going to have to do? You know, like, I'm thinking I'm about to fight a bear, and he's like, I'm looking for Bigfoot, you know? And so we do this, so he's making so much noise. Every animal in like a 10-mile radius knew there were 2 idiots walking around the woods that night. But what do wild animals do? Like human, you know, they hear humans, they see humans, they run away, right? So I shouldn't have been as worried as I was. Anyway, so we're going along the trail, and it's a pretty well-established trail, and we turn this corner, and I got my spot, you know, and I go and I shine it, and all of a sudden I see 2 sets of glowing eyes staring at us. And him and I both work EMS, and a big part of EMS is honestly just paying attention to like details, right? So we see these eyes, and there's like a big palm bush here, and there's a big palm bush here, and the eyes are in between these things. You can't really make out shapes or anything, but you see the eyes are glowing. But if you know anything about palm bushes, you know they're too flimsy to support even an owl. Like a possum, a raccoon's not going to sit on this thing. It's not going to happen. And so anyway, but they were at like a type of height where my first thought was, oh crap, there's hunters out here poaching, you know, where they're not supposed to be. So my first thought is, please don't shoot me. So humans don't have eye shine. I didn't know that at the time. So anyway, we hit the lights. I'm thinking human, hunters. I drop the light so we don't see them. I'm like, hey guys, you know, real sorry. We're just, you know, messing around. Hope we're not bothering you. You know, we're just having some fun. And like, dead silence. No bugs, no birds, no nothing. No nothing. And it was really eerie. And I'm like, you guys okay? You guys having fun? Good night? You know, whatever? And like, nothing. Dead silence. Not even wind. I shine the light back up, and there's the eyes staring at us until the set on the right turns and looks at the other set, and then looks back at us, and I go, uh-oh. Like, I didn't actually say that, but all the hair stood up the back of my neck. I remember taking like a half step back, going like, and like slowly lowering the light, and like holding my machete up, going, you guys okay? And that's when he finally spoke up, and he goes, hello? And like nothing. I shine the light back up, and they were gone. I go, nope, I need an adult. And I didn't say that, but so I turned and I hit the tree with my machete to mark exactly where we were. And dude, we hightailed it back to camp. So the thing about Mike, when he's getting to Bigfooting, the thing you know about Bigfoot people that go look for Bigfoot, is these people love walkie-talkies. They love walkie-talkies. So Mike had left a walkie-talkie with our buddy John, and he had the other one. So we are like almost jogging down the trail to get back to our camp, to the safety of our thin nylon tents. And Mike gets on the radio, John, be advised, we're coming in hot, we had an experience. And John, he's like such like an even, smooth guy. He's like, copy that, I hear, you know, you guys are coming in on this side of the camp. And I don't remember if it was north or south, but say he said, I hear you guys south of the camp. Mike goes on, negative, we're coming in hot from the north side of the camp, repeat, the north side of the camp. And then you hear John, and I don't know what he heard in the woods, but he comes back in. I've only heard him like nervous this one time.
And you've worked EMT with EMS with him for how many years?
Years. This is the only time I've ever heard him rattled. He came back on the radio, goes, copy that, north side of the camp. If you guys could hurry back, you know, that'd be great, you know. Yeah. I mean, we're almost running, you know. Like, never run with a full Bear Grylls machete, by the way. That's just a safety hazard, but, you know. Anyway, so we get back to camp, and, dude, it freaked me out so much. Now, like, we were up to, like, 4 or 5 in the morning almost. So we go to bed, and the next morning we wake up, and we actually that must have been day 2 then, because I remember we all packed up and we hiked back up.
Yeah.
So before hiking back to the cars, we hiked back out to where we were, which was clearly marked from me hitting with a machete, and there was a big rock in the trail, so it was very obvious where we were. And so we're there, and so we're staying on the trail and we're talking about the whole thing. And we've seen like the Bigfoot show enough to know that you're supposed to go out, you know, one person's where you saw it, the other person goes out to where you were. So Mike walks out, and you're 5'11"?
5'9".
5'10"?
5'10", 9 3/4.
Yeah, 9 feet, yeah, no, you're 5'10", dude. It's
okay,
cool.
all
yeah,
right.
it's fine.
You give me that.
It's practically 5'11". So I'm staying on the trail. So Mike walks out at 5'10"-ish, and I go, raise your hand. So he gets to about this far above his head, and I go, stop, because that's where the eyes were. So this thing's at least a foot taller than him, but also. So Mike is right behind the one palm bush, right in front of the other one, but it's also a depression in the ground. you know. So he was actually lower than like where we were. So anyway, and so we go out there and we're like, well, we're gonna find some Bigfoot prints, right? You know, no prints. You know, we found like what could be like a ball of a foot plus a toe, maybe heel, you know, whatever. Nothing was very conclusive because it's a pine forest. Everything rains down and it's hard packed, and that's how it is. What we did find was a really big handprint that was clear as day, but it's like we were so new to the outdoors back then.
We didn't have any plaster. We didn't even know how to do that.
Well, I mean, plus we're not looking for big hands, we're looking for big foot.
Right, yeah.
You know, like
This is a whole different
what's
creature.
this big hand thing? I'm not worried about that. You know,
Nobody looked for big hands.
it didn't occur. Yeah, I mean, people should look for big hands, but it didn't occur to me until much later, like months later, that think if you're like a special forces guy, you're a sniper or something, and you want to hide from somebody that maybe sees you, you're gonna duck down behind that bush, right?
Yep.
And you're gonna plant that hand right on the ground. And if you weigh 700 pounds, that handprint supporting your weight is gonna make an impression on that hard packed ground. So maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe the handprint was rain runoff from the trees. I mean, all I know is we saw some eyes that night. They were about the same height, and they were at the type of height that if you had two big bears out there, but bears don't travel in pairs like that. It's a mom and a cub.
Right.
You know, two adult bears don't do that. So I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it was clearly about 7 foot tall.
And how far away was that from here?
Oh, dude, like a mile?
Mike to Aggie.
Go ahead, you're breaking up.
We're coming in hot, man. We have activity. Good morning. Day 2. Last night was uneventful. I was pretty tired, so didn't do too much. Today is a different story, though. It's bright and early, and we are out hiking Colt Creek State Park. I'm going back to a location where it was actually my second encounter that made me believe that there really could be something out here. So we're gonna go back and go to that location. I don't know if I'm nervous or excited or what, but I got some feels going on. Oh, it also did rain hardcore yesterday, so there's definitely going to be the potential for footprints out this way. So this isn't the exact spot, but I don't think, but it's very, very similar. So what had happened is we were coming down this trail here late at night. We got to this point, and we were doing vocalizations pretty much the whole way, and Jimmie had his spotlight. He was shining left, right, and we got to kind of here, and he shined his light over to this side of the trail, and again, I don't know if this is the exact spot. It's pretty close, but something there were two sets of eyes, like Jimmie said, and the one turned and looked at the other, and yeah. This is my first time back here since it happened 2011, and I gotta say, you know, it's I didn't think it'd affect me at all, but it's weird being back at the location that kind of made you believe that something that's not supposed to exist may actually exist. There's just miles and miles and miles of nothing. This is so cool. Okay, we just had a road or a path crossing. 2 raccoons. It's kind of concerning that they're out during the day. right here. He's just gonna hold it, apparently. Apparently that's the thing. Is that the Florida thing, just to hold it?
You're allowed to open carry well.
That's not the Florida. Yeah, I know you're allowed to open carry, but I mean, that's extremely open, sir. That is very, very open. Mike here with Eli and Ian, and we're going gator searching. Eli, let me tell me your what's your dress of choice and weapon of choice is, please, sir.
Dress of choice is not hot sauce and a Glock 19 Gen 5.
Are we going in? Oh, gee, oh no. I don't want to walk. Then my boots are going to get... Oh. Wow. Nope. Oh, no. Nope.
Like they don't eat.
So, okay. All right. So I got to ask. So I watch TV, and I see these National Geographic shows about like the crocodiles, right?
Crocodiles are mean as
Right, but they come out of the water and they just demolish. Alligators not the same. Oh, don't do that. Why? What are we doing here? What are we doing? I don't think that's a good idea. Nope.
Getting a little bit of distance between us. Just wants to kind of check it out. Just sit right there and look.
Get that thing up. Come on.
So I'm walking out. I've gotten maybe a quarter mile into the little hike, and I'm walking. I've got my head down, just kind of walking, and I looked up. Actually, I smelled it first, and it smelled like, for a lack of a better word, like dumpster juice. Like it was like you're standing behind, garbage water. Like you're standing behind a garbage truck or something.
Right.
And I was like, whoa! And I look up and like made eye contact with something. And when I first looked up, I was like, whoa, it's a bear. And I looked at it for a second, and it turns just like us, and it was behind these palmetto bushes. I seen like from here up. And it was behind these big palmetto bushes, and it turned and walked away. And I'm like, okay, that's something, it didn't fall, it didn't,
it didn't jump on my...
and I was like,
It was like something walked off.
yes, it walked off. And so I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, did I see that? Am I, I'm thinking, okay, I'm crazy. So I kept going. And there's a spot in the trail where you cross a little creek, and the creek's this wide right now. But it's got a high water crossing sign. And as I'm walking along there, I seen the high water crossing sign. And I looked up just to kind of see where that crossing would be when the water was high. And I looked up, and between two trees, now I'm in like a dark shaded, like bottom of the forest right there. And it was dark, or not dark, it was daylight, but it was dark from inside the forest. Anyway, I looked up looking at the sign and to where that creek crossed right there, and between two trees there was something standing there. And I was like, looking at it for a second, and I'm trying to get it in my head, like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? And I smelled it again. It was like the second time, it was the same kind of smell. And I was like, man, it's just, and I was getting like goosebumps, and I was starting to feel bad, like physically starting to feel bad.
So at the time, the water was probably 4 feet out. So it was mud, like all the way out here. And like, so right at like a few inches before the water, like right at the base, there were two like extremely distinct, like very distinct tracks, like full details, the whole thing. And so I have size 11.5 trail runners, that's what I hike in. and these were several inches bigger than my trail runners. And so I put 1 foot next to it, you know, for that whole picture. It was clearly a barefoot that was bigger than my 11.5 foot shoes. And then there was a second one next to it. Well, I mean, there were 2 tracks, so whichever one you want to consider the first one. But in order for me to get my feet to line up with the stance of this, I had to go like this. And yeah, it was more or less about this distance apart. So that was kind of weird.
So it was a left and a right foot?
Yeah. It was like something was standing right there. I mean, in my head, I imagine something standing there right at the base of the water, maybe reaching in, grabbing like freshwater mussels or something, you know. So the whole thing was, well, there's no tracks here. So if you come look right now, it's like, you know, it's like a water runoff, not a retention ditch because it's natural, but so at the time this was completely dry and extremely hard packed. Like, so I would go like over here, and I'm like, well, there's tracks there. So I come over here and jump on 1 foot. So 200 plus pounds. Just get on my face. So jump on 1 foot over here, and I wasn't indenting the ground, not even a little bit. Like, not even enough for you to tell anybody had been there, even with like the hard tread trail runners. So there's no tracks anywhere else except for like right here. I want to say maybe there was like a partial of something else, but once again, it wasn't flooded like this. It was extremely dry and hard packed. Now with the tracks that were up here, I did the same thing. I came up and I stood on 1 foot and, you know, hopped up and down. And if the track that I made by doing that was, say, 1 inch deep, the tracks that were there were like 3 inches deep. So even me, being like a big dude on 1 foot, couldn't get the depth for the tracks that we'd found. So, but there's a lot of fat people in bigfooting, so maybe somebody did it, I don't know.
Down here in the green swamp, this is really legitimate country, backwoods country here. You have animals that you are, I mean, legit threats. So, Florida Panthers, one of them. I'm walking alone right now. I shouldn't be doing this. It's at dusk. It's a bad thing. This is so phenomenal. It's hard to see on the camera, but the sky's on fire. Oh, man. It's beautiful. It's just a whip, yeah. Oh! You're kidding. You're kidding. Okay, that's close, Eli. Eli, that's too close, sir.
All you have to do is go grab it, and it's your turn.
Yeah, all I gotta do is go grab it, Jimmy. You go grab it.
A little bit nervous right now.
Yeah,
So here's Mike getting his lesson on how to use the bullwhip.
So it's just a flick of the...
That's all it is. That's all it is. It's no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
So-
I would advise everybody to back up.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually get yourself with
I don't see what could possibly go wrong in this scenario. Actually, I take that back. I got $5. He hits himself in the neck.
Yep. Go.